support this initiative, this new system.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome to our solution-driven motion. It's nice to have you at the Executive Council.
It's my pleasure.
And I must say, the aroma here today is different. Thanks to your gift.
Please manage. It's the little we can do for now.
So we really appreciate just your coming is more than enough for us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We'll start by introducing ourselves.
Sure.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
I'm Jean Dike, the local governor representing University, Treasure-Based Education.
Okay.
I'm the founder, thank you, sir, Nipa Farm/Ethanol Refinery, an alternative of gasoline and diesel.
You're most welcome. My name is Ahmed. I'm sure in Savannah, Kogi State. I'm from Personal Development Project, also known as GTS Capital.
Thank you.
Yesterday's science fiction, so today's science fact. Nothing just happened. They are false. It's my pleasure to introduce to you PPP, personal pet that I've been on for the past 8 years. And I call it the PNV, Project National Values, supports the educational sector. It's in book form, music form, movie form, game form as well, to help salvage the education sector from the intensive care unit which is found ourselves today. My name is Buhari from the state of Ahmed.
Most welcome from the third authority and talk from the data to the local government of the state. And my pet project is Pulse in Agriculture and integrated farming for children. So I get children in primary and secondary school. And then hoping with the aim that very soon they don't have to cajole children into coming into agriculture because they have touched it, they've tasted it, and it has worked for them.
From the home of peace and tourism, you're highly welcome, sir. My name is Nana from Below, the River Governor representing Plateau States. And the title of my personal development project is called the Industrial Skills. We are tapping into the imaginative and futuristic mindset of young children from primary, secondary, home of the disabled, children on the street, and the orphanages, in which will be in an industrial hub where they will learn professional skills, entrepreneurs, resource allocation, and to become inventors. It's aimed at making them become business models in the future so that they can self-financially sustain with all the jobs. Thank you.
You're most welcome to being our list. I'm Adela Kondenka Ibrahim, the Liberal Governor of your state. Our environment is a conditional influence in which you and I, or a thing, lived and existing for personal development. But it has come to notice that we do not take care of our environment, and when we don't take care of our environment will take care of us. My personal pet project is Project Waste to Wealth. With a population of over 180 Nigerians, you can imagine the enormous waste we generate in this country. The Project Waste to Wealth will add value, create value into this waste and generate it into wealth for each and every one of us. Thank you very much.
From the salt of the nation, the state that has taste of the nation, I am Ikeju and the family of Ginger. Welcome you to our solution driven mansion. I am the founder of Ebonet Entrepreneur Hub, giving and creating an enabling environment for the dreams of every Nigerian youth. It is said that entrepreneurs are the leaders and the shakers of the world. Imagine where 40% of the youth of Nigeria are entrepreneurs. Imagine the effect in Nigeria economically. Once again, welcome you to our solution.
Thank you. Thank you.
I bring you greetings from the center of learning. My name is Sharon Elise, and I'm the Liberal Governor of Kaduna State. My personal development project is the DADA Initiative, that's the Dominion and Drug Abuse Initiative, with the vision to reduce crime and violence rates in Kaduna State and the country at large.
Welcome, sir. That's That's a nice attire.
Thank you.
And I'm so sure you bought it so that you brand yourself.
Not so.
Okay. People love to buy brands, not products. To create a status and to look good. That's why my program is called Buy Back Nigeria. I'm trying to use the media to create a brand for two things: made in Nigerian products and the Nigerian image. My name is Ali Bode Yusuf from the Center of Excellence, Labor Government of Lagos.
Who any budget?
Good evening, sir, and welcome to the Labor Mansion. My name is John Johnson, the Labor Government of Lagos State. My personal development project is the Lagana Chocolate Factory and cocoa processing plant. The idea is to use what produces the most, which is cocoa, to produce chocolate, bringing revenue for state development and eventually federal development.
Good evening, sir. My name is Brian. I'm Daniels. I'm the Labor Governor representing Adamawa State. The title of my personal development project is the $1 Project. It is aimed at alleviating poverty through thrifting among entrepreneurs in my state and the United States. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
I bring you greetings from the Food Basket Foundation in the state, and of course from the excellent Standard House of Granite. I am Her Royal Highness Princess Karen Mbase, and my pet project is in just automated pantry management system. Entirely new concept that is out to ensure that every single Nigerian has the highest quality for them and those around us.
Good evening, sir. From the People's Paradise, Kashima State. I am Buhari Ate, and my pet project is Besh Empire. It's all about empowering women, youth, and children through literacy and skill acquisition.
Okay.
You're welcome, sir. I am Nice Jonathan, the Labour Room Governor for Borno State. I'm working on a project titled Ruba Mayame. In English, it means educate children. It's education aid in emergency for children in crisis areas. Thank you.
My name is from Anambra State, and I take project community library development. You're welcome once again.
From Grady of Yoruba, my name is Akin Shawati Topekurian, and I'm the Labor Governor from Osun State. My project is Nigeria Agritourism Festival. We want to establish factories for the purpose of processing, preserving, and packaging our agri-goods.
You're highly welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Representing the big heart of this nation, on behalf of the Nigeria, I am the Labor Governor for Delta State. My name, title of my Help for leadership training for the next 7 Nigeria. Our program.
We intend to promote we're going to start
Thank you.
Mansion. From the eastern development plan is the Imo allows everyone to use their reliable income. It has a capacity of employing over 10 million people with or without certificate. You're welcome, sir.
Once again, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
My name is Chawali Suluwashan Solomon, the Labor Governor for Ekiti State. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the Ekiti State Agro-Edu Initiative, with a focus to placing trade for an agricultural revolution in Nigeria and in my state. Now, on a long-term goal, the plowback and the return hand will be invested in the development of the Ekiti State ICT Industrial Park, targeted at blazing a trail for digital revolution in my state and extensively in Nigeria. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you.
From the Nature's Gift to the Nation, Taraba State, my name is Jibba. My pet project is called SMT 100. It's a tourism project. They say all work without rest reduce your lifespan. We're trying to see how we can open up the tourism aspect of the nation from Taraba State to the world, tourist attraction and rest.
My name is Prince Hussein, governor of the State, and my pet project is Tagoya Foundation, an integrated charity foundation that touches the aspect of youths, women, and children.
You are highly welcome, sir. Thank you. On behalf of my name is Ambassador Days. The governor of Ambassador. My personal development project is titled Resource Project. It's about agriculture, processing soya beans to value chain addition.
From the home of solid minerals, Nasarawa State, I am Abubakar Sulaiman. My pet project is Emerging CEOs. It's a leadership/mentoring activation program for youths to help them be self-reliant and most importantly, create more CEOs. You are very welcome to our mansion once again, sir.
Thank you.
You've got to meet us who would like to know you and hear what you want to share with us.
Thank you very much. Oh, I can sit? It's around Your Excellencies, so I don't want to default in any way. So just to let you know, before I proceed, we've been paying keen attention to our TV screens for the last 43 days, thereabout, and we are particularly impressed. If any of you here feels you're not living up to expectations, you're wrong. Because we sit out there and we watch all of you and we can't get enough of you. I must commend the organizers of this whole project because this is a clear indication that as young people do have something to offer. Contrary to the perception that we're a bunch of non-focused people, let me keep it simple, we have proven them wrong. And we should continue in this light to ensure that they start paying attention to us. Because it's not like there are no solutions to these problems, but it's about not just the willpower to drive these new solutions, but also the fact that we are new. And so the solutions that we can phantom in our heads are the kind of solutions that can solve today's realities, today's challenging realities. And so I must commend all of you, and I'm very proud to be in the midst of all of you. I feel really honored. Thank you for having me. My name is Ahmed Buhari. I'm the Labor Room. My name is Ahmed Buhari. I'm from Niger State.
Our state. Our state.
And this is my project. Why I say this is my project is because I am one of those people that have decided to stop standing on the sidelines and complain about how Nigeria is being run. I am one of those people who believe that if we do not come together to think of solutions that can move the country forward, we're going to just keep staying back and complain before we realize that we're in our 70s. So, what do? We have to not just think of the solutions, but also the process that can get us into leadership. And we have to be very careful when we are aspiring to become leaders. Because if the process that gets us into leadership is not right, we get power drunk and we lose focus. And even if you have listed out all your agendas and everybody certify them as good agendas or processes to get the things done, you end up not doing them correctly. Why? Because you lost focus. 2, because the process that got you into office was faulty. I'm praying for a Nigeria where the electorate will start asking aspirants what solutions they have for them, how they intend to drive the government should they be in office. Not just about popularity for popularity's sake. It should be about posterity. What have you got to do? Fine, 4 people want to run for the governor of Kogi State, for example. All 4 of you come out here and tell us what plans you have for us. Come debate yourselves out and let the people decide. And for us young people, we should be ready with the right questions. Right questions. When I mean right questions, questions that tend towards the economy, questions that tend towards the unity of this country, questions that tend to the security of this country, and ensure that these people have got the right answers that would help us deliver, or that would help them deliver if they get into office. And we should let them understand that we are not against them, but we're here to support them. And so they should prepare their minds to receive solutions from the people, just so they can be on the right path. So it was in this light I decided last year that I was not going to stand on the sidelines anymore. I was not going to keep complaining. And I was going to put myself in the center of everything. I was going to be running for the office of the president of this country. Yes, when we started, we heard things like, you people do not know anything. Oh, you are so inexperienced. Oh, have you been in politics? And I said to them very clearly, I am very proud not to have been in a system that we're not proud of. So, hear me out, hear what policies we have, hear what agendas we have, and see how we intend to drive this country forward. Nigeria is not the first. It's become a wave. Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you people the news that's going on outside. But there have been about 4 new presidents around the world who are under 40 in the last 2 months. And that is supposed to encourage all of you. So I'm here today to discuss with you people, to rub minds with all of us, to imagine that we have been given the opportunity to move this country from where we are today to where we want it to be. That is why I've been given this Green Century Code, which of course is a 100-year plan that we're hoping that the exercise from this whole process would generate the right strategies that would help put the country together. Most of us will not benefit from what we put in here today, but we have to do this for the sake of the future and our unborn children. So, well done once again. For me, more importantly when it comes to the Nigerian situation is unity. There is no country in the world that will prosper if the people are not united. And what makes us feel different about ourselves is when we're not having good economic viability. So when the economy is bad, you don't feel all right with yourself. When you feel disenfranchised, when you feel marginalized, you are bound to be angry. Anger is the direct especially when it concerns. So I want to talk in our comparative advantages. I've heard all of you with amazing projects, and I have listened to how a lot of people have come to talk to you about how to believe in yourselves. I like that, and I like how I see you people react to the nice words that come out of the mouths of those people that make you feel this has got to be done. But it's one thing to get so highly motivated and then you don't have the next solution to get that high spirit working in the right way. So, you can get so excited now, it gets to 100 and it falls right back to 0 in no time. It's like a drug. So I expect that as we work towards building our self-confidence, our determination, and our sincerity of purpose to move this country forward, we're also going to be looking at ways we can ensure that the solutions that we are putting together are truly going to move this country forward. So I talked about our unity, but it doesn't just stop there. What will make this unity work? I went to University of Ibadan sometime in February, and I went to the archives, and I saw some of the blueprints that were developed during the First Republic. Apparently, there are supposed to be 4 major roads running from the south to the north. 4 major rail lines running from the south to the north. The first one runs through Lagos State, passes through Ibadan, Ilorin, Jeba, Mokwa, moves down to the back of Kwantagora and terminates in Kaduna. The second one starts from Edo State, goes down to Kogi State, moves up and terminates somewhere in Kano. Port Harcourt, move up, pass through the eastern states, terminates somewhere in Kano. The last one starts from Calabar down to Maiduguri. The question is, where are these roads? If they were in the blueprint 40 years ago, I expect that by now there should be about 8 lanes on each side. When the people have ease meeting each other, there will be economic viability. It will move fast. It will work fast. But when I have to come and visit you in Calabar, and I know I have to spend, I don't know, nobody knows, you know. Sometimes you're trying to ask the driver, you want to get into a bus that will take you from Kaduna to Port Harcourt, and you ask him, how long is the journey going to be? So only God knows. Because he cannot tell you how bad the port roads might be. He cannot tell you if there are robbers on the road waiting for them. They can't tell you anything. And that moves us to the next thing. Now we're talking about how to meet each other. Now we have to talk about how to keep ourselves secure. So security cannot be compromised. The security has to be right. It has to be there. But then, I'm just talking about the infrastructure that has to be in place. Whether it be the roads, whether it be the railway lines that connect the south to the north. For what? For economic viability. For moving our goods and services. For moving our intellectual property as well. So we want to have a meeting. It shouldn't be a big deal to travel from point A to point B just to meet the other people there. But this is where I want us to focus on our comparative advantages. I'm sure in the last 40 days, most of you have seen each other, you've talked to each other, and you can't wait to get out of here to meet each other to do business together.
True.
Exactly. So when my friend in Abia was talking, Your Excellency, I'm particularly concerned about Abia State because I took the pain to go to Aba to visit the clusters of shoemaking, handbag making, and belts, all leather. And it will shock most of you to understand and believe that there are about 10,000 people working in each of these clusters. But most of the produce from those clusters, we do not buy them. We don't patronize them. They struggle to sell them to neighboring African countries. So I tried to find out why, and they say Nigerians don't really like their style. So we're very stylish people, my dear friend, very true. And I expect that for Abia, for example, the government in Abia State should be thinking of constructing infrastructure that would help train these people. Research centers that would help open the minds of these people to see the different kinds of design the world appreciates now and exactly what Nigerians want. So that when these people go through a lot of work to make production, there's a ready market for them right here in Nigeria. But that hasn't happened. But even worse, when I went to Kano, I visited the Sharada. Sharada is a town in Kano where leather is being processed. But when you go to Sharada, you see men still sitting on the floor, still trying to beat the leather, still trying to dry the leather. Some of them try to color the leather. And recently, Louis Vuitton, the popular Louis Vuitton. I'm sure you know Louis Vuitton. I can see your sense of style. Louis Vuitton actually clearly identified that Kano State is the second largest supplier of leather. I was pained because everybody who works in Louis Vuitton in France is wealthy. Is doing great. But they come down here and they buy a 3 meter by 3 meter for about $3. And our men in Sharada are excited. But that piece of leather can produce about 6 pairs of shoes that we sell on the shelf for $6,000 each. Why? Why are we letting this happen to us? What happens to the governor of the state of Kano to invite this very famous Louis Vuitton and say, set up a factory here and employ my people, and we'll take you this, we'll give you this leather at subsidized rates, just so that my people can be gainfully employed. Or, even greater, what stops the government, the administration in Kano State and the administration in Abia State to say, you know what, we found a common interest. Your people can produce this, we can supply this. And when Kano and Abia know that they have something in common, they will never fight themselves. And that is how I want us to start thinking. That is how I want us to start looking at these things. This is just one aspect. We go to the South. I was in Port Harcourt, and I saw this huge pile of ugu. And I didn't know what it was. It was vegetables. I'm like, what is this? I said, it's ugu leaves. I'm like, wow, it's massive. They say, yes, everybody who plants ugu leaves grow here like, you know, really fast. And so they bring the ugu leaves and they pile them here for people to buy and transport to other parts of the country. But there are no roads to move these products. Security undermines the movement of those products. The roads are so bad that sometimes the lorries that transport those products capsize, fall down on the way, and the products never get to destination. So what are we saying? It's one thing to have the products from the farmland, but most importantly, you have to process whatever agricultural produce you are getting. How do we synergize those states that do not have agricultural produce but have money to invest in processing plants to ensure that we have something we're doing together? And so when everybody talks about restructuring, for me, this is the restructuring. This is how we can find common grounds to do business together for prosperity. This is how I want us to think. No one can do it alone. There are some states that are greater than some other states. But those states that have deficiency in some of the natural God-given resources will now have to focus on its own service, on its own intellectual capacity to ensure that it meets up with the challenges.
Oh, you mean for the meeting?
So for me, I'm here to open up the floor to discuss with all of us to make us see that as governors here today, when we sit down, should we get the opportunity to be at the governors forum, sitting down, we should be meeting each other to sign up business deals. The way Lagos State signed up a business deal with Kebbi State recently, and the way some other states have actually started working together for the common growth of their natural resources. I would like to take questions and then we can continue the conversation.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. I must say you have passed a strong message out there to Nigerian youth that yes, we can. So I'm sure my colleagues have a few questions to ask.
Yes.
Yes. I'll start from now.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
This is Robert Sylvester, the Borough Governor for Adjustment. I have a few questions, and congratulations, and I wish you the best in advance.
Thank you.
I have a few questions here. I heard you talk beautifully, but there's a book I read. In the book, I saw a little exposure that currently one very good Apple laptop, costing about $2,500. would buy 100 bags of cocoa. And I said, wow, I had never seen it in that light. If they even went further to say one Apple laptop would, at current rate, would cost about 50 barrels of oil. Now, most times we push for agriculture, value chain. I once argued that our biggest problem in Africa and Nigeria is the fact that the world moved away from agricultural stage into industrial stage, stroke technology, and into service provision, and they have gapped up so far. Now, if at this stage we're still looking, because when you were talking about, you talked about a lot of value addition to agricultural product. Very good. If you become the president next year, sir, what will be your technological plan? Because I'm of the opinion that side by side we're pushing for agriculture, we should start pushing for technology. Now, sir, imagine if we can have a company that's making phones and say, okay, decrease 50% importation of phones, and then we pay in advance. People, Nigerians will pay. We pay in advance for a phone or for a laptop from such company. Imagine the numbers they can sell up front. So my question here is, what is your technological plan for the country if you become the president? I just want to ask one question. I'm a businessman, sometimes I like to just... You have one product. It will cost you 500 naira to produce in Nigeria, but 150 naira in China when you import it. What would you do? Tell us the short-term plan, medium-term plan, and long-term plans.
Thank you.
My last question is, what would be your major plan for refineries when you become the president? Would you build more? Would you revitalize our current refineries or continue investing? Having in mind that our major buyers are gradually moving away from crude oil. So,
thank you. Appreciate. Thanks for the questions. So, before I respond to your questions, I did the introduction initially by just saying who I am and my intention to run for office. Let me give you a little bit of my career background. I'm a geologist by training, so that means I've worked in the oil and gas fields as a West-South geologist. After which I ventured into the telecoms, and I worked with the telecoms company to see how communication can be improved, especially as it concerns internet. A few years after that, I started my own company, which is an IT-based company. And the purpose of starting that company at that time was to ensure that we get a lot of young people busy, not necessarily employed. But there were a lot of people roaming the roads and the streets, waiting to get back, waiting for service to be, for NYC to call them to service, and some of them were waiting for, some of them had finished service and were looking for jobs. So we bring them into the hub and we let them express themselves. I call it express themselves because some of the ideas that they had at that time or that they have may not work right now for the current situation on ground. But it was good for them to feel happy trying to develop something. And who knows, in the course of development, we could find other things that we could do for our common benefits. So that, in a nutshell, is how I have moved myself career-wise. Part of what we do for corporate social responsibility is to ensure that we look for kids from less privileged schools around our hub, and we bring them into the hub and expose them to technology generally. So anything from app development, web development, graphics design, to make them see that there are other options that the world has got to offer. And so when you ask a child, he's not just telling you, I want to become a doctor, a pharmacist, or an engineer. They're beginning to see other things that you can actually do. And for me, technology is what I believe is the next frontier. There's no question about that. But we're now looking at a country where we have an advantage, which is not just the given natural resources, which is not just the land that is vital for agriculture, but also human power, human capacity. And we have to explore all of that. Most of these countries that are focused in investing in other areas like technology that you mentioned do not really have a lot to offer in those areas that we have strength. But first and foremost, all of us can be producing computers. So, for a country like Nigeria, I would want us to focus on the services that we can do or get from technology, not necessarily building the technology. Maybe it can be a long-term process, but for now, the immediate things my people want is to have themselves away from hunger. Job creation. empowerment when it concerns employment and security. And we have to focus on all of that. So we build 2 million computers for who? Nigerians can really afford those things. And most of the other parts of the world produce these things and use them themselves. So we're going to produce computers to sell to who? I want us not to miss the point. Yes, everybody is running to a particular direction. It's good, it's exciting to see technology taking the center stage. But more importantly, I want us to look at what we really need. What is most important for our people right now? Let's focus on all of that. Let's keep the infrastructure there, ready, so that when people finally have jobs, they can now purchase those computers. And then the second question, which was on refineries. And for me, first of all, I support modular refineries. I think most of the people in the South-South region can have the government can have a proper structure to see how modular refineries can start functioning. And I'm not going to be crazy about seeing as many refineries as possible being built by government. It can be a private sector thing that we can support. But for now, a lot is shifting away from oil and gas. However, we need this gas to run a lot of things we do in the country. So I support modular refineries. I support pipelines to be constructed. And again, that's its infrastructure. And that is when I know that the pipe that services me gas comes all the way from Port Harcourt. I will have to be nice to the Port Harcourt men in my town. When I know that the food that comes from Kano comes to me, I will have to be nice to the Kano people in my town. Because if I trouble them, this food will not come. We have to start looking at those things to make us have mutual respect for each other. And when there's mutual respect, there will be unity. And when there's unity, there can be love. And then the other thing you asked was China producing an item for 150 naira, and down here in Nigeria, I'm producing the same item for 500 naira. So why won't I look at, importing from China as opposed to constructing it? Again, the basic infrastructure is all that government has to provide. Government should stop worrying itself about involving in every business. Provide the basic infrastructure for the environment. People will do business. You can go ahead and push them left, right, and center to collect the relevant taxes, and you have to be fair about that so that their businesses do not collapse. But more than anything else, infrastructure has to be there for the people. So I'll give you an example. In 2007 and 8, myself and a friend of mine traveled all the way to Singapore. And from Singapore, we went down to Malaysia. We were looking for what to do, what kind of business we were going to get involved in. And we decided we were going to start importing baby diapers. And when we did the math at that time, there were two things. It was either we import baby diapers that were going to be made for the Nigerian market, or we go all the way to one of the governors of the state gave us a free land to develop a factory and all of that. But when we did the math, it was going to cost us more to produce those baby diapers in Nigeria as opposed to importing them from Malaysia. At the end of the day, we have to start importing. Because giving us just land is not enough. Building the factory is not enough. We don't have power. We can't even transport this things on the roads. When we did all of that, we just realized with ourselves that we were going to be hitting the rock should we insist on starting this business in Nigeria. And in the process, we met somebody who had started that same business in Katsina 4 years before us, and it was a ghost house because he couldn't continue. So there's no question in our minds, infrastructure has to be put in place. Again, talking about technology, I've said it many times in most of the talks that I've been at. Nigeria will not work if we do not focus on data. When I mean data management, data collation. And the data that we get, whether it be on head counts, whether it be on the kind of health services that you use, or the kind of security that the state needs, or the kind of number of people that are going to use a bridge that we're going to build that connects Abu Legba to Owo Road in Lagos State. Because you cannot just go to Finland and take a prototype of a bridge and expect it to work in Lagos. In Finland, there's probably just about 300 people that will use that road in a day. In Lagos, Who knows? So this road comes in, lasts for 6 months, and is shaking. And you start fighting the constructors. But the construction company does not have all of the blame to bear. He didn't have the right data to work with to know what the material strength of that bridge is supposed to be. This is how I want us to start thinking. And then you move from that and you start talking about immigration. So no matter what you are trying to produce, no matter what infrastructure you're trying to put in place, as much as people come into this country with no, without the country knowing exactly how many of them come in, or knowing for what purpose they're coming in, or when they intend to leave, we're going to have problems around a lot of things. And this is how I want us to start thinking. We have to focus on data. It is important, it's imperative, and we can use it to even help ourselves save a lot in terms of security, in terms of economic growth, and other things.
Sorry, we'll just take one more question. Kaduna State.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations, sir, in advance.
Thank you.
But my question is, do you think that the older people in power are ready to drop down for you to take this leadership position? And also, sir, when your vision are clear to us, we know your right direction. So I want to know your vision and your mission and your plans in the educational sector of the country.
And my plans in the
educational sector.
Okay, thank you.
What difference will you make in the educational sector?
Okay. So I'm going to respond to that very quickly. First of all, let's not make this about an old and young, old versus young. No. Yes, we may be lucky to have lots of ideas. We may be lucky to have different views. We may be lucky to be exposed to technology and the rest of the world, and so that makes us feel we have something new that we can employ to make this country move forward. However, I expect us to think about running a system where the tenacity, the strength, the zeal of the young will be supported with the wisdom of the old. Personally, I think our elders have given a lot, but we will give our all. We are at the brink of having a total collapse in the system, and that is why we're even having programs like this, so that we can start looking for quick solutions to remedy the problems that we're about to envisage. So for me, my vision really is to have a country that is secure, where the fears of the old are eradicated, where the hope for the young is restored, and security, economic viability becomes the watchword of the day. That is what I'm hoping for my country. With regards to education, it's the key to our success. And when we think about education, I want us to think about education beyond the classrooms. I want us to think about street education. I want us to think about awareness. I want us to think about opening the minds of the people. I want us to think of sensitizing the minds of the people. So not everybody will have the opportunity to go to school, maybe, but at every turn, there should be something that is making the common man on the road become better than he was the day before. One of the biggest problems I'm seeing now in Nigeria is road traffic. And as opposed to FRSC, for example, concerned about your documentation and all of that, they should also take on strong exercises that would educate the people. You don't overtake from the right. You don't see a red light stopping you and decide to just try and move. We have to, some of these people, in all honesty, do not even know. But nobody is talking. And the things are getting really bad. So, for me, education goes all that way. And then we have to adopt comparative religious studies in our educational systems. And when I talked about comparative religious studies, I'm talking about schools that will be moderate, schools that would allow children to be exposed to different kinds of cultures, different kinds of ethnicities, different kinds of religions, only so that they can appreciate each other. So, in the last 15, 20 years, most of the private schools that we have seen around have focused so much on being religious schools, whether it be a Muslim school or a Christian school. But you see, it goes beyond that, because these kids are going to come out of that system and are going to face the real world. And in the real world, everybody's there. And they find it very hard to mix. They become extreme and they become intolerant. And these are some of the problems that are affecting our educational system. And of course, welfare of teachers has to be improved. Of course, infrastructure in schools have to be improved. Of course, the syllabus has to be revisited. The curriculum has to be revisited. We have to start teaching our own history, our own culture, as opposed to some alien cultures that we don't even know about. Let's write our own history, before we become a lost generation. Thank you.
I must say, we really, really appreciate your coming.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I hope you put the Green Century Code into consideration in your aspiration for a role in this country.
Thank you.
The Labour Room Creed with you.
Okay.
Next we hold out.
All right.
The Labour Room Governor for Abia State.
After the count of 2, 1, 2.
I stand in the sacred gate of time, shoulder to shoulder with my kind and breed. We share a common burden and promise. The travail has started. My water is broken. Something is coming. A superior nation is breaking out. The world is anxiously waiting. And I am the carrier. I must release this precious seed inside of me. The memories of yesterday will not stop me. The pains and shame of today will not define me. My womb is the carrier of the future. Few years from now, my baby will cry in freedom. I shall give to the world a brand new super nation. This is my calling. It is too late to stop me. For my God and my kind, this will surely be. Push! Patat Sabu! Push! Patat Sabu! Push! Patat Sabu! Push!
Thank you. Well done, everyone. Well done. Congratulations. Well, everybody, we're really proud of you guys. We're really proud. Really proud. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Wow, well done, guys.
Really appreciate it. Of course we did.
On the Ghana chocolates. Okay. Yes, I can actually do that, but I don't like name on Dokana. If I'm in, yes, I don't like name on Dokana. No, you want me to come and invest now in this company? I don't know. Maybe I might own half of the company.
We had 3 times yesterday.
So I can be the main shareholder of the company.
We had 3 times yesterday.
I know.
Whatever you call it. In fact,
I know now.
Yeah. I was literally begging Ahmed to come and eat. For Coco.
Yeah.
Can you see their terrible mouth? You wish to go and die. See their terrible mouth. I'm not surprised it is coming from Coco.
I want more like
I know they are using. I know that's what will come out of your people's mouth. I'm not surprised. I knew that Indomie was divine intervention. You will see what they will say. What like that?
They were one that revolutionized the
Yeah, 5 minutes. Cameraman. I remember cooking it. To need that
when that man was talking today that the governor of Kaduna State, when he was minister, Nasru El-Rufai, when he was breaking buildings.
Coco
that's my governor.
And Coco will be holding your mouth. It is on the house.
Everybody. Okay, yeah.
I'm serious of late.
He helped the young people. You know, if you come to my government house, like Kaduna State government house, right? The workers there are
so you don't
from maybe 25
up to
45. That's the workers. Like if you are working there, you must not exceed 45 years. Even those are
There's no any other mind that is missing apart from yours.
30. But let me even tell you something.
I think this is the first time I'm hearing this.
You see, my government house, people that are from Kaduna that are working in my government house are just few. His secretary, Yoruba. Your political officer is Yoruba. Charges that there's no much evil.
I say that one commanded.
If I once educated,
it cannot
you
work.
get work. Then who told you? That was then. Like talking about it, that was then, but now let me tell you something. That was let me tell you something.
And you be the next winning my mind. Just saying our 5 people. And Sylvester don't ask from
you. Don't like wait to be
now where the problem is? Sylvester take the slot.
But that was then. But now things have changed. Things have changed. Like things have changed now. Yes. Just now. Like I know some of my friends that have gotten married. Okay, and sometimes depend on the even up to there are some family that are illiterate.
I don't think so.
Parents are still like
the programs are coming in.
Some of my classmates got married.
Like Revelation.
Got married.
Kitchen balls.
You understand? So but that was then that people were
so stressed or she's looking like
one house.
But now this
please, I think we can disperse for now. Alright. But we should still remain ready. No problem. Because anything can happen.
The only few people that will tell them not going to invest. Like only few people. That's why it's like our state. There's Christianity and there's Islamic. There's nothing like religion again.
Kitchen boss.
There's nothing like religion.
I don't know. Have some ginger.
Religion is not interfere with it.
I don't have some ginger.
Can you stop? Intentionally and deliberately pick an essay for religious and there's no Christian, there's
it's not easy having the kitchen boss. Only the
there's no because of religion I'm not going to. No, that essay is there to say this for the plan, this. Say go and seek for knowledge. So you can't seek. You have to go and seek for it because even the Bible and the Quran states that. So that telling it was then that all these things that it was then when people were illiterate, but now things have changed.
Have some ginger. This has some ginger.
Thank God the idea is Nigerian. So it brought you that.
Is there any new coming up?
It's kind of looking like Kaduna and Abuja. It's kind of.
I mean, right now, is there any?
No, truly, there are so many opportunities in Kaduna. Like our Kaduna Central Market, our main Central Market.
I think this should just come with the
meal. If you go to Central Market, we have Manga Palama Coffee Flour, that plaza from A to Z, Igbo.
Sorry?
No,
yes,
they love business.
Yeah, during the green session.
As when they came to Kaduna, even when the northern
they don't ginger.
Northern elders were saying that Igbo should leave.
They don't even open any. It's like it's
leave north and go back to their state. Like one of the things that my government analyzes if they should decide, if they should now, not talking about
no, that's Poppy look is coming.
Now me do not throw it.
Do you have a dog?
No, it's Poppy.
Do you have a dog? Have you read it?
I don't know what's a dog. What's a dog, Seth?
I think we'll just let
If you know what they've done, you see a public.
Let me guess. Open. Let me see. This is chicken part.
Season.
You see, like, okay, if
Chop.
Yeah.
If it was
5
you must listen to Sharon today.
So I think you should come with the meal.
Only this way you not listen.
This is lunch/dinner.
This kind of concept.
This is lunch/dinner.
Like apart from other things.
Very foolish. Shut up. Shut up. Stupid.
Once you stay there, they'll give you. Get out. Blah 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 blah.
Shut up.
Now you have to attend. And true. I like this idea.
I'm not surprised.
Mr. Chairman, I thought it's open to everyone.
They're going to turn the mansion into a kennel.
You should go out your
It was like, okay, I think Olam's
Lord of Jesus.
Olam's is not the biggest
man, sorry.
It's only Sylvester and I that used to get the true picture. When you guys are looking like pop.
Olam's farm is in this Kaduna, just integrated recently before we took this mansion. The president was here. Yeah, president.
I'm scared of going to sleep.
Yeah, president. You are really president.
But I should go and sleep now.
Sure? Like,
I'm coming.
not because I'm from now, but in Kaduna, everything like
just one page.
The educational sector. Just
They have to come into
sometimes. Okay, and now there's competition. There's competition in the educational sector. It's competition.
Is that why you got that?
Oh, he's looking for money.
He said that she has it for you.
Admission is to be had. You understand? Just everybody. Admission is to be had now, very, very high. But everything is going smooth in the educational sector. Like this Kaduna State University. If I don't know if I will go back and they open about 6 campuses. Because every day, because we are much, and not everybody wants to go to school. So like there are people 40.
Be looking at time, be looking at. I don't mean this is the kind of concentration you give when we have group meetings.
Because we
won't be where we are.
No space.
Look at this.
So they have to open more campuses for people to, if they really want to encourage people to come to school. Yes. Yeah, I want to do that initiative. You know, I'm going to say that initiative. You know, when you were talking, they said the personal development project. That's something I can put on my personal, like my data initiative. I've started something.
Mr. Chairman, I don't understand what Coco is doing.
And anti-drug abuse.
Coco is doing it intentionally.
So bringing up
whenever last week they could only try it.
Is a small, but now it's
this week too.
When me on the canal,
Mr. Chairman, are they doing anything?
It's now that they are trying to do something.
On the canal.
Yes, very, very online.
Mr. Chairman, this issue has to be addressed. So.
Allah will see come over.
Coco is see how this one will sleep.
God is working for our good.
Are you seeing Miriam?
Yagi, come now.
I don't want that. See, the guy will be maddening his girlfriend is talking to him. You now be smiling sheepishly. Why sleep? What was it?
Good people of Ephraim.
What was good about it?
Good people of Ephraim.
What do you want to drop?
It's not around.
He's saying major problem of comparative advantage. Comparative advantage.
Where's Sarah around? I'm looking for Harry. Looking for Harry. Harry, come and collect your book.
And now everybody don't say it happen.
You want to wash my clothes? Thank you.
I don't know what. I mean, Anki.
Thank you.
No.
Where are my hangers? Princess hanger.
No day.
No, I was telling them something about my state, and the kind of saying that all the main reason why we are allowing people, Igbo and Yoruba, to come and donate to Kaduna State is because we don't know much about businesses, and also universities are back, and that's why we are allowing people to come and. No, I need to tell him now. It's not like that. You know, Kaduna State was Kaduna State.
See.
The library.
Strategic discussion cannot be taking place in front of our room.
No. No, I know.
This state, so why is it? Come.
We are finished talking inside. Yes. So.
Talking to her. Yes. His eyes getting wider. When his eyes are getting wider.
In Nigeria, we are white.
That's Nigeria.
It's not like that.
Because British perspective, diaspora perspective is my girlfriend. But Nigerian perspective, I have a boyfriend. Am I right? How come you're supposed to?
Thank you. So.
Excuse me.
Harry. No, so I needed to tell him what he did.
No.
My migraine is working. It's reading. It's not on. It's not on. So I had to tell him. It was reading, but now it's off. I had to tell him. And I need to tell him. I was telling him that this Abuja, it was my governor that did the work. And yes, no, some people don't know. That is my governor that did the work in this Abuja. And same thing is going on in Kaduna State now. Keep quiet. Come to, before December, come to Kaduna State. Come to Kaduna State. Kaduna ba. Go Abuja Albarka. So you see, he did it for Abuja FCT that time. So but now he's governor of Kaduna State. So he's putting all his spirit, his soul, his body, his every. No, you don't know. Henry, you don't know. I need to tell you. You know. How is my governor? He's a nice person. Yeah, he's very nice, he's smart. He's very logical and what again? And he's creative, I know that. He's resourceful, I know that. You know my governor. Do you know Olam's farm? Where is it located? We are in Kaduna. How big is it? It's the biggest poultry farm in the whole of West Africa. Yes. Do you know Vikampro? You know Vikampro? It's in Kaduna State. I'm trying to tell you now. I need to go and keep this clothes. I need to remove this clothes. I need to call 20 before the next guest comes. Yes. I'll stop disgracing myself when guests are on stage. Yes, I know. Yes, how are you? Kisos Nana? Malama? Malama everybody. It's not here. I've been the Erifa I've been doing for Kaduna State, and I'm trying to tell you his glory. Erifa don't talk much. You've not seen me. Because our glasses, ba. The medicated glasses, because ba. Do you know Olam's farm? Olam's farm alone. Olam's farm alone in Kaduna State. We are proud of Erifa for allowing Olam's farm to be situated in Kaduna State. Actually, Olam's farm is the biggest poultry farm in the whole of West Africa. Yes, and Olam's farm can generate. Let me not tell you how much it can generate for now, because just with Olam's farm, we don't need federal location in Kaduna State. Olam's farm, okay, let's say Olam's and Vikampro. We don't need federal location again. We'll do Kaduna State own, we'll do Nasarawa, all the northwest zone will do their own. Let me just go, don't tell me anything. No, not just Olam, I'm just telling you, one out of the many.
So why is everybody mentioning Olams as one out of the many?
No, okay, let's talk about nickel. Let's talk about...
For all of you, Olams.
You know, Olams just celebrated Olams on the 15th, and we came here on 17th. So it's not the latest. So, you know, but we don't want to be talking about the older ones that we're talking about for long. Let's talk about the new one now. So like essentially, when you see me, after the, okay, when I step out of this machine, maybe it will be on, maybe, okay, by the end of next month, I'm not talking about Olam's family. Maybe probably I'm talking about our nickel, the aircraft, the kids from Kaduna State were able to bring us on that nickel. Yes, but there's nickel in Kaduna State, plenty nickel. We don't like talk. No, we don't like talking. We do actually. See Abuja. Who revolutionized Abuja is my governor. Yes. But you know they've given men the federal government allocation, but they were not able to use it. They now maximize it and turn the place. With the little they gave him, I'm very sure they gave him just little, not much.
No.
He set the foundation. Have you ever seen when they will build the house with bad foundation? The house will collapse. The person that set the foundation is Bati Arbani. Kisam kasan elfana go kariba.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin arrahmanir rahim.
Koya dao ko be dao ba. Elfa have set the pace for all the governors to follow. Elfa have set the pace for all other governors. Koma sora ministers from Abuja have set the pace for them. Kasanyache is what the bad. Kasanyache where Elfa set the foundation. Say ya Tefi Kaduna. At least he set the foundation. Kagana gidenda ba den trying good foundation ba. For this house was left for a long time. They are collapsed. That's because the foundation is not good enough. But I bet you, the foundation Erifai said to be there for the next 200 years, 100 years to come. Papi Arbani, Nasani, Papi Arbani is reality. Is reality. Is reality of Erifai. Kagani, let me just go. I don't like, I don't like talking much. Even if I don't like praises, like we don't like praise. We are allergic to praise. Please don't praise Erifai. Let God reward him. If I don't like praise, let me just go. Abu have driven me away from here. Let me go. Yes. And as you are come, Erifai will host you in Abuja, in Kaduna.
No.
Well. How can you bought some for? Yes, you have a chance. I'm bored with you. I can do him because I back on it. I can do him because I back on it. You need to set the list. But I don't want to talk too much about Erifai Kuma. Before Kuche, Puna Sukuda could not by fire by force. My governor now. Where is your second house? Where is your second house if not Kaduna? Second house Linka. Kai Shamsu Har Abu Sokoto. Second house Linka Kaduna. Kaduna Ko Kati Kokaso. Ko Jibba. Second house Linka Kaduna. Kaduna home for everybody.
You used to call yourself center of learning or what? Is this center of knowledge or something?
Learning.
I need to let you understand that.
If I told the library state.
Calm down.
We're talking about education.
Calm down.
We're talking about education.
It's about what?
We're not talking about education.
It's about what?
We're talking about education.
You used to say you're the center of.
It's not about education. So we have the prestigious Ahmed University.
But I need to give you a good news now. Okay. If you are the center of education, you are mentioning foundation. I need to let you know that the fountain of knowledge in Nigeria remains Oyo State.
Okay, thank you very much for that fountain. But the fountain of all infrastructure in Nigeria remains Erifai. So without Erifai, no university will not stand it too far. My sister, how are you? You fine? Do you need help? Twinnie, do you need help? Oh, Abambio. Twinnie, do you need help? No? Pastor? they said now. Someone said that Mr. David, oh, you think we are allowing you to go home? That they'll be okay. Okay, nice. You didn't. You were not around. Mr. David came to. Immediately after. Unless I will but immediately after one thing at the FCA sugar, we'll now go home. Where there's a quite.
Let me come and finish writing mine.
Because we had actually where Mr. Brian came and touched some he said welcome in so hotel. Commercial see actually where managing with Bio and Battle. Yeah, we are still the Super 37.
Awesome.
I love to bless your name. I love to lift you. Do I plan to wear this clothes, Nefa? Try to I'm going to tie up at today next. Hannah Shrews, Hannah Shrews. Slogan, nail it. When Laura,
that's the first thing I'll be doing.
Somebody I'm going to getting the Susan.
Going to
someone's not the unique Zeni chic on the answer on the ansaka, on the ansaka. My guns are just a cast one. Do I put you now present in Yama? Everybody have access to it. Not just go on yare. You know, if some one in the Asaka Muko is a man now Kuniko, Kumaka Sameshi, bag just Jekoni Kaswaka chicken as Sukisia, Zen baggy bike actually a bike.
I heard they've just started or something.
Share the light and the joy of Christmas. As a mere child was born, child of a full bell.
Fair now. 30. Is it 31?
Who brought my mirror back? You nice. Na son ki ce ba ki ga miran ki. That was the bad that one the question.
I don't think so. Bring me your biro. Okay. And it doesn't look too bad. environment.
Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yes, please get everyone down. Let's get to reset. Please, you can sit down.
It's a long stretch, anything.
Yes, it's a long stretch.
Yeah. All the Nigerians issues with the train.
This is a mini Nigeria. Nigeria.
I'm not, I don't know if you could do Ebochi.
Ebochi?
Yes, Ebochi. What is Ebochi?
Where is that
from United States. That's IBB's favorite food.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
So that's his favorite. So when you come to the mansion, it's not just a no, he went to common college, Bida. Yes. So he was told there's a woman that says actually, my younger brother also went to common college. You know that. You just say Ebochi. Yes. You say, where did you get it?
Like you went to the same school where you walk with
no,
seem to know much.
Okay. I'm not just so
that explains a lot.
Okay. Thank you.
We hope you'll be having dinner with us.
Yes, I want to interact with the governors. And
let me get everybody downstairs.
You did how many page mini do you
Oh, it's just finished.
Okay.
You were coming to that buffet for three-course meals.
No, we have 3 things on our menu.
Yeah, they've been. We would have had 3-course meals.
Okay.
Main dish, dessert, and appetizer.
Okay.
Oh, but speaking of appetizer, I think we have the
ice cream.
Oh, we have
ice cream.
Ice cream. Oh, okay.
Oh, no problem. No problem, sir.
Each of you should make sure you have your flagyl or
There's no problem. There's no problem.
We have a clinic down there.
Okay. That's nice.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Nice to meet you guys.
This is a wonderful setup.
The people in it too. Nigeria is working.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But I'm not happy I'm supposed to be in that blue t-shirt.
No, I'm doing it for you.
Whatever it is my favorite color.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow. I feel like pulling the one I have. It's going to be very small for you.
Okay.
I feel like pulling it and giving it. But it's going to be small for you.
Exactly.
Or should we give it?
No, he's telling me that he's fatter than I am.
Okay.
I can get you my own. I'm fatter than he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, where? Okay, only one person. Anyone in Zuma?
No, sir.
Anybody in Zuma?
Thank you.
Please, let's go to the dining. We have a guest.
So you guys, this is your like daily schedule or something?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The kitchen, the upstairs, the restroom.
Thank you.
We have a guest.
Okay.
Executive council meets.
See, when I go chop guest.
Yeah, now we are now chief hosts.
And we spend about 45 days.
45 days. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, some of them can come here. Hi, how are you? Thank you.
Once again, you are welcome.
Thank you.
To our solution-driven mission. I'd like to start by introducing ourselves.
Okay.
You get to know more about us. Start from.
Okay. Yeah, welcome, sir. My name is Ambassador Ahmed.
Okay.
The Labour Governor of the President.
Okay.
My personal project is titled Coastal Pit Project. It's a workshop processing to the value chain addition.
Okay.
From the nature's gift to the nation, Taraba State. My name is Chitra, the Labour Governor representing Taraba State. And my pet project is titled the SMT 100, which is still my Taraba 100%. It is geared towards the tourism aspect and exposing the tourism potentials of Taraba State to the world of foreign investment.
Okay. Thank you.
From the cradle of Chihuahua, my name is Akish Latin Vivian, and I'm the Labour Governor for Osun State. My pet project is Nigeria Agritourism Festival, whereby we are going to be establishing a factory for agricultural produce to be processed, preserved, and packaged.
Okay. Let me go close to you guys. At least I can hear you guys.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
I am
Okay.
Jonathan,
Okay.
Governor of Borno State.
Oh, you're from my state?
Oh.
I'm from Borno.
Yeah. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
The national kind of, there was a connection.
Yes. Okay.
I'm working on a pet project titled Mubama Yara Ilimi.
Okay.
Yes, sir, because of the impending issues of Boko Haram and its effect on the educational system. We're trying to see how we can reach out to the children in the IDP camps and the areas that are still in intense situation, areas that are trying to recover by using software materials like audiovisual materials that will be put in small MP3 players. But whenever these children are in the IDP camps, in their homes and their villages, they will have access to good quality education. Then from time to time, we send facilitators to have a talk with them and access how far they've learned, what they've learned, and with time we make
What to all the glass cup?
Okay. That's a very good idea. Okay.
Welcome to our mansion, sir.
Thank you.
My name is Ali Bode Yusuf,
from
the Center of Excellence, Labour Governor for Lagos State.
Okay.
My pet project is called Buy Back Nigeria. It's an initiative that wants to make sure that Nigerians buy beautiful products, just like they do. Buy Nigerian-made products. The second initiative is to brand the Nigerian image. Therefore, we can now build the Nigerian economy.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but I will go back, but I just want to listen to them. Thank you.
You're highly welcome. My name is Nana from
No, I just need two.
Representing Plateau State. and the title of my project is called The Industrial Biscuits. It is aimed at training children into becoming entrepreneurs, business models, and inventors so that before they at the age of 18 they can become financially sustainable.
Okay. Thank you.
My name is Mr. the governor of the state. My pet project is Tabai Foundation. Created charity foundation aspect of health, youth, women, children, and most of all our focus is on fistula issues, diseases.
Okay. Thank you.
Very much welcome, sir. Thank you. I think my voice is going to be very loud if you are there.
Okay. Yeah.
From the Eastern Heartland, my name is Onyekwe Godwin Mwanchukuneke. I'm the Liberal Governor for Imo State. Welcome to our solution-driven mansion. My personal development project is the Imo Innovative Hub. That's the Silicon Valley in Imo State.
Okay. Thank you.
Once again,
thank you.
My name is Chaoli Suluwashim Solomon, the Liberal Governor for the state. It's my pleasure to introduce the State Agro Initiative as my personal development project. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
I'm talking elected as well. The one who goes in Bauchi State.
Bauchi?
Yes.
Okay.
And then my first project is Girls in Agriculture, integrated farming for children, targeting children into primary and secondary school.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Representing the big heart of this nation, the heart of the Niger Delta, the Liberal Governor for Delta State. My name is Yoshibri. The title of my pet project is LRG 900. It's about transforming leaders, rural women, and grassroots development.
Thank you.
The Food Basket Foundation, this is very massive. The pet project is automated partial banking system. It's a complete new concept that is out to ensure that every Nigerian gets the highest quality of
no.
Good evening and welcome to the Labor Room Mansion, sir. My name is John Johnson. I'm the Labor Room Governor for Ondo State. My pet project is the Lugana Chocolate Factory and Cocoa Processing Center.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir. My name is Chinedu from the Light of the Nation, Anambra State. And my pet project is Community Library Development. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. My name is Jimmy DK, the Honorable Governor represents River State, Treasury-based organization. I'm the founder, thank you, sir, the Powerhouse/Economic Factory is an alternative for gas.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, sir. My name is Isizobo Sylvester, the Liberal Governor for Edo State. I'm a medical doctor by profession, but a businessman by heart. Yesterday I became a game developer by a task given to us in the house. We developed this game. My pet project, because fellow student, doctor, and everything, I have food at heart. It's called Ahmed Project, Alternative Meat for Nigeria.
Okay.
Meat for everyone.
No.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, sir, to our solution-driven mansion. My name is Mohammed Sule, Liberal Governor representing Kogi State. I'm the founder of EduConquest, the first educational competition for national development in Nigeria.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
You're most welcome once again to our mansion.
Thank you.
I'm Adela Kwandenka Ibrahim, the Liberal Governor of Oyo State. We can't talk about protecting our environment if we do not manage our waste. And my pet project is Waste to Wealth.
For the salt of the nation, the state that adds taste to the nation. I am Ikichu Henry Osibu, the Liberal Governor of Ebonyi State, and the founder of Ebonet Entrepreneur Hub, giving and creating an enabling environment for the dreams of every Nigerian youth. It is said that entrepreneurs are the rulers of the world. Imagine where 40% of the youth of Nigeria turns entrepreneurs.
Haven't seen how you treated nice. I must also form a relationship.
Okay. Okay.
You know the grandchild is more cherished.
Yeah.
Than
son or brother.
Of course.
So I'm your grandson.
Okay.
I'm from Gombe State.
Okay.
Bauchi State was carved from Gombe State, and Gombe State was carved from Bauchi State. Therefore, makes me. My name is Ahmed from Gombe State. My personal development project is the microscope, also known as Ghettos Got Talent. It's a talent hunt.
Okay.
The ghettos.
Okay.
Bringing them to Lambert.
That's good. Thank you.
Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you.
We already met in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I like to say that desperate times call for deliberate measures. Some say desperate measures, but I'd rather say deliberate measures. So against this, at our Rainbow Movement, that's the name of my pet project, we want to raise youth. We want to raise youth who are emotionally, mentally, and psychologically fit to enter the global world, fit to be globally relevant. I'm actually a legal practitioner, and I've met with youths and teenagers who have issues because of family problems and all. So we want to have youths who have some kind of emotional intelligence, youths that can stand and say that this is what they want to do, what they want to do for themselves, not because of what the society wants them to do, but what they've grown to know that this is what fits their psyche. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
My name is Oluwatobi Roger from Harmony Choir State.
Okay.
And I have a pet project that is called National Values.
Okay.
I've been on it for the past 8 years. Basically, it's focused on the education sector. We developed a book, Corporate Civic Social Responsibility. We turned it into game. We have the music version, we have the film version, we have the game action version, basically to actually redefine the education sector. You're most welcome there.
Thank you.
Based on women, youth, and children.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome once again, sir. My name is Abubakar Suleiman. I'm the Labour Governor of Nasarawa State, and my pet project is Emerging CEOs. It's a leadership/mentoring acquisition for youths, aimed at making them to be totally self-reliant, and most importantly, creating more CEOs. Once again, you're welcome to our solution-driven mansion. You've got to meet us. As we part at 7, we'd like to meet you and hear what you have to share with us.
I think it's wonderful to be here. It is good to be here. And we have the 36th state here. My name is Ibrahim Abubakar Lajada. I'm from Nigeria, but I'm based in the United States. And when I see the 36th state coming here, sitting down, there's still hope for this country. And with this, your great ideas that you have, I think very soon we are going to have a lot of things changing in this country. So I'm happy to be here. And I'm someone that have interest in politics. And that is why I moved to the United States, where they started democracy. They have been practicing democracy for over 220-something years. And if you look at our democracy, we are still learning. So, and that is why when they study political science, did my master's in political economy, and I did my master's again in international relations. So, and I want to see how we can change things in this country. And we, the young people, can be able to change things when we put our minds together. Just like the ideas that you guys have, just like the initiative that you guys are doing for each and every of your state. I think it's a very wonderful idea, it's a very great idea. And I want to see how we can all work together and change things for the ordinary people in Nigeria. And this is very important for us because we are the leaders, and we can be able to determine what happened in this country and what can lead us to make change in this country. So I this moment in history, I intend to run for the president of this country.
Wow.
Oh. Because I know there is a lot of frustration out there. There's a lot of anxiety. People are tired of things are not working for ordinary people. We need unity in this country. Unity is very important for us in this country. With unity, we can be able to achieve a lot of things. And that is why I think it's very important for us, just like what you guys are doing now. I think that is the purpose of coming together, unite ourselves for one Nigeria, and so on and so forth. So I'll be happy if we can have a relaxed interaction whereby you guys should feel free and ask me any kind of question, how we are going to work together, how we are going to move this country forward, and how we are going to change the country. I have a lot of ideas that can move us forward, that can unite the country, and can create jobs for ordinary people. If you look at Northeast, you can see that there is no any industry there, but we have a land. If you go to other parts of the country, the same thing. So the frustration that is out there is something that we all need have to come together. And that is why any part of this country, I've been to so many places, I've been to every state in this country, local government, meet with people, discuss with people, and when I listen to them, I feel like what can bring us together is unity and love. And that is what I intend to do, and that is what I'm working on, and with your help, I think we can be able to achieve that.
Thank you very much, sir. You have, let me say, we are in the same struggle because we are tired of being by the side and watching things happen. We decide to be parts of the solution. So thank you very much, sir. I think my colleagues have questions to ask.
Okay.
Yes, we'll start from Kogi to Katsina.
Thank you, sir.
So should I let me go close to you so that I can hear him very well?
You can hear him very well.
Okay.
You can hear him very well. Also.
Yeah. Can we react to the assertion by neo-colonialists, post-modernists, and post-religionists that Nigeria and Africa are modeled towards Western values in politics like democracy, economy like capitalism, and social institutions?
Okay, you know, we have different type of democracy, and we have Eurocentral democracy, and we have the American democracy, and then we have what is called African democracy, that's Afrocracy or something. So we in Nigeria, we are practicing the American democracy. I think what is going to work in the United States, I don't think it's going to work here because of we have different ethnic, we have religions and so on and so forth. So the only thing that we can work together is for us to unite ourselves and for us to go locally. And that is what will make our economic to grow if we go locally, whereby we produce what we eat, clothes, and all these things. I think that is what will make us, that's what is going to make our country to be great. And if we do that, I think we can rest assure you that we are going to have security, we're going to have peace, the economy is going to grow, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
discussion session. So, and I would start with that wisdom is not a prerogative of the old. A son can be wise and the father may not be. So wisdom, God gives wisdom to whosoever he so wishes. My question goes like this. I don't know if you have a paper so that you will write them down. Do you think having a younger president will eradicate the problem within our nation? That is one. Secondly, we have those in the past who were opportuned to be at the reign of government, but we were disappointed at them. Somewhere, at the same time, there was one of them, or I would like to say one of us, a youth, that has reached the realm of government and was trapped at the parliament by a leader. What step do you think we can take to avoid such repetition of disappointment? Thirdly, do you think good and patriotic leaders are defined by age? Thank you.
I think at this moment in history, we need young leaders like you. You have an idea, and you think your idea is great, and you think your idea is going to work. So you are a leader. If you look around the world, you see young people. They are the people that makes things happen. They are the people that change things in their country. You know the problem of the young people. And each and every country in this world, their focus was on the young people. Look at Canada, look at Barack Obama, look at France, look at Austria, and all these countries. They have young people. And these young people are people that have the energy, that can get things done, that can work collectively, they can work together. So an example of that was, look at how you guys can be able to come together and talk and solve problems. This guy was telling me that yesterday he built a game, right? So unity and young people, when they come together, they can do an extraordinary things beyond anybody's imagination. So the reason why I'm running for this, for president, is because I think that there is something that we can offer for this country. There is going to be disappointment. There is going to be disagreement. But the only thing that we can do was for us to agree on things that we all know that is the right thing to do. So, and I think that if we can work together, just like what you guys are doing now, you can see the result is going to be a very good result. That is number one. Number two, there's going to be disappointment, whether you like it or not. A lot of the young people, maybe they don't know how politics play. Sometimes it's messy, and sometimes it's dirty. Sometimes there's money washing around and can make people to change what they believe in. And sometimes when they see the money washing around and they think that, okay, there is someone in my state that needs health care. There's someone in my state that needs education. Or there is my grandmother that is out there dying of poverty or something. That will make you to change that, okay, I don't need this money for myself. There's a lot of people out there that need this fund. So in doing that, some of us would like to go for the money. Some of us will believe that, okay, this is the right thing to do to change the generation that is coming or something. So, and I think that we can be able to do that. And I'm really, really proud of you guys, of what you guys are doing. And I intend to make sure that we all work together and achieve one Nigeria, make sure that the economy is growing. There's a lot of industries, people are getting jobs. We bring a lot of manufacturers and so on and so forth, and make sure that, okay, we are all fair to each and every part of the country. Anybody that has an idea that is going to move this country, we should give them a chance, regardless to where they come from or what their background is or what their religion is. We should give each and every Nigerian a fair shot or something. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I'm very happy that someone like you is coming from Borno State. Thank you very much for taking up the mantle. You made mention of unity, but unity is just one sector of Nigeria's problem. You understand? And talking from the angle of the Northeast, we have the challenge of education and security. I want to know, coming in or aspiring for the post of the president, what solution are you bringing to the table in the areas of security and education?
Okay. My plan for education is that if you look at, we are left behind. And I've been in the United States for a long period of time. And when I look at the education system, I see that our education system is not good and it cannot be able to compete with other countries because of lack of equipment, lack of books, latest books, and so on and so forth. So my plan was to make sure we strengthen our education system. We build new schools. We have qualified teachers. We make sure that there is equipment for our students that they can be able to have, they can be able to access. And I think we can be able to do that. And in doing that, we can be able to have each and every state have a very good education system whereby it's up to international level. And then in terms of security, I think the president is doing a wonderful job, which we should all be proud of. He has allocated a lot of resources there, and things are getting better. You can be able to work freely and so on and so forth. So the president has done a wonderful job, and we should thank him for that. And then on top of that, what we are going to do is that we are going to make sure that we rebuild the Northeast by providing the education system for them, just as you have said. Build more schools, have qualified teachers, and so on and so forth. In doing that, I think it's going to reduce what is happening in the Northeast. And from there, I know what is going on there. I know what we can do to make sure we address the security challenges, address the education system that is at the verge of collapse or something. So I think we can be able to do that and change things for better in the Northeast. Yeah.
You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you.
I think today, with this current presidential candidates we're having, and I actually have 4. My God.
Oh.
I have like 11 questions.
Okay.
I'll just ask 3 or 4.
Okay.
Now, to start with, we have a very active president, presently, President Buhari, and it's been a lot. Now, the first question is for us to vote for you here, Super 37. Can you tell us the things he's not doing, or he's doing, he's not doing well, that you want to improve on, for us to vote for you? Number 2. I think it was Ahmed that left now.
Ahmed.
He said something that there is actually a blueprint for fixing our roads in Nigeria for the past 40 years. and it has not been infected for 40 years. Perhaps you become the president. How will you fix the road in Nigeria? Your plans, how to fix that. Number 3, you schooled abroad, sir. With due respect, most of us schooled here. And it has, I would just say something that it's not been easy. I've been working on a project that called Project National Evolution now to solve educational sector. Thank God my sister asked something about it. You said we have to build new schools, qualified teachers, infrastructure. Even it has. Does that equal building the people? Because if you don't build the people, what you build, people you don't build, you destroy. Does it equal building the people? The fourth one, let me start the fourth one. There's something we call cultural mistrust of authority. For the past years now, I was born, bred, everything but that in Nigeria. I have not been able to go across the border at all. Now, I think issue has it that we have leaders that have mouth but has no moves. Manifestos without manifestation. Even from now we'll be calculating next 2 years from there. They are coming back home to come and contest. Now that's a cultural mistrust of authority. Perhaps you get there. How will you bridge that gap to be the linkage to this leakage? Thank you very much.
Okay. First, your question was whether the president is doing well or not. In my opinion, I think the president is doing well. In some part, is doing like the security. We have to give him a plus in doing that because. And then, in terms of what set him apart from the previous administration was the president is trying to give this country a sense of direction, which I think there's a lot of frustration out there. People are very frustrated. The economy is not doing well. But if you look at when Obama took office, their economic is at the verge of collapse. And then when he took office, he created this stimulus package to boost the economy, whereby the country will go locally in terms of their production. So they produce what that they're going to use and what they're going to eat, which the president has been doing that in terms of what is happening in KB, right? So these are the things that the president is doing. But we are not going to see a result like just now, but in the future, we are going to see that. So the president is on the right direction, but there's a lot of things that need to be done. And that is why the issue of there's so many things that the president is doing that need to go back to the state and local government. The power has to go back to the state and local government. So the president, if I'm the president, what I will focus on our economic, foreign affairs and defense. All other things will go to the state and the local government because those are the places whereby you see people that they need to, they have to see that, okay, that's impact on what is going on or something. So, and to me, and in doing that, I think we are going to see a lot of changes. The economy will grow. There's going to be a lot of jobs. We're going to bring industries, manufacturers to the country, whereby they will build things here for people to get jobs and so on and so forth. So I think that is what I will do. But the president is doing good, and I think I'm really proud of the jobs that he's doing. But there's still more things that has to be done. Yeah, and then your second question was about fixing the road. If you look at our roads, every part of the country, I've traveled by road. I've been to the 36 states. I've been to some of the local government, and the roads are not good, and the road has to be fixed. The only way that we can fix this road was to make sure that there's going to be less involvement of people, because from what I'm hearing from those kind of people was, you can see that there's going to be a contract of a road that was going to be given, but a king or an emir will come out and tell you that he needs something from it. You have to give him something out of the contract that was given to you. So maybe they will do the road, or maybe they will not do it. It has happened in Niger, it has happened in Kaduna, one of these local government or something, whereby an emir will tell you that, okay, you have to give them something. So we have to make sure that those people that the contract is given out to them, they are responsible. They are responsible for those roads. For any road that is given, we have to make sure that it's committee that will go and inspect this road to make sure that what they are given is they are doing it. If they're not doing it, they have to fix it, or we have to take them to court and put sanctions on them or something. That is, I think that is, and it has happened in the United States, in my country, whereby a contract was given to someone to build the road, potholes, but he didn't do that. So he just maybe go and put some things, so he didn't make sure that, okay, he would move those ones and put a new one. So they took him to court. They put this thing on him. He paid a fine of up to $5 million for not doing that. So if we can do that in this country, I think all the contractors will make sure that they do what is given to them. So, and if you look at is it Gombe or something, they have given a contract to do a road, and they have not done that. So if you go around the country, there's a lot of things that is going on like this, and the only way that we can fix that, we have to make those who the contract is given, they have to be responsible and they have to do their job.
Okay. From my understanding, I believe for you to be aspiring to be the president, you should have equipped yourself, and you should have been ready. Because, and I know you should have believed, or you should have known what leadership is all about. Now, speaking on this, I want to ask you 1, 2, 3, 4 questions. One goes this way. Outline your agenda if you happen to emerge as the president. What's your definition of leadership? And as a leader, we all know that, first of all, you have to work on identifying the problems. How far have you gone in identifying the problems of Nigeria? Providing possible solutions to it. What are the possible solutions to the problems you will tell us today that you have identified? And what is the picture of the Nigeria of your dream like? This picture is a picture you are painting and what you are going to achieve. You are going to achieve this picture during your stay in office. I think you have to do with this little one. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I have 3 agendas for this country. One is the education, to strengthen our education. 2, to grow the economy. 3, to fight corruption, and to bring people together, unity. So these are the 3 agendas that I have for this country. I have been thinking about our problems for a long period of time. Because I think for the past 14 years, I think I have looked at things that are not working in this country. And I look at what solution are we going to give to them? How are we going to address this problem? And that is the reason why I moved to United States to study what democracy is all about. Our problem is not resources, but our problem is the leaders we have. I will give you an example. I was in one of the best hospitals in the United States. And I was going through the hospitals and I'm looking at the equipment, I'm looking at the things that they have and their staff and so on and so forth. Then I called the person that built this hospital. How much does it cost to build this hospital? And how much does it cost for the equipment? And they told me that to build this hospital, roughly about $100 million. To put the equipment and all these things, about $80 million. So this is one of the best hospitals in the United States, Mercy Hospital. So, and I was like, okay, look at the budget. I look at the budget of the Ministry of Health. I was like, what are they doing? Where is this money going? Where are they allocating the money? And so on and so forth. Then from there I know that, okay, there's a problem and this has to be fixed. The same thing with our education system. So this is something that I have been working on it for the past 14 years. I love this country so much. And I think that things has to be changed. We cannot allow all these people to be having billions of dollars for themselves, and there is things that need to be, our education system has to be changed. We have to make sure that, okay, people have access to good healthcare, universal healthcare. We have to make sure that people have access to good drugs, and so on and so forth. These are the things that are, necessity for our people. We don't have to ask government to do this for us. It's their responsibility. And for the past 14 years, each and every administration in this country, I have looked into their budget, I have looked at what they have, what they are doing, and then people are just there to make money for themselves, not to work for ordinary Nigerians. And I think if I'm president, what I intend to do is that I'll have to make sure that, okay, there is check and balance. We have to make sure that, okay, those people that are responsible for their ministries or their parastatals are doing what they're supposed to do. And we have to make sure that our judicial system can take people to jail, can take people to prison, regardless if you are rich or you are poor. As far as if you are going to break the law, you must go to prison or you must go to jail. And if you're going to steal public funds, you have to go to prison. So, and that is what I intend to do as president. And I think I can be able to fix all these problems that we have in this country. Then you talk about leadership. A leader is someone that will take responsibility, that will accept that, okay, things that some people cannot accept it, or some people that, like this your project that you are doing, you are a leader because you are doing something for people that they cannot be able to do. And in doing that, if you are going to be fair and just, you are a leader. But the problem that we are having, most of our leaders are not fair, most of our leaders are not just. They are just thinking about the next election. They are thinking of how they are going to save money for the next election. But for me, what worries me is not the next election. What worries me is about people that are there, are dying of poverty, are dying of hunger, are dying of things that are very, very small things that the government should do for them. And that is the reason I think all of us here are leaders. We can be able to change things for better. We can be able to do things for the people that they cannot be able to do for themselves. And that is why you feel like to come here and make sure that you can go back to your state and change things for better. So you are a leader. But our current leaders doing that? No. They don't care about someone's kid. But for me, if your child or someone's child cannot be able to go to good school, it bothers me. It worries me. And I think that I'm responsible for that. If my grandchild or someone's grandchild or someone's grandfather is there dying of poverty, or they don't have access to health, I think it is my grandfather, it is my grandmother or something. So that is how I feel, and that is what I feel about all this, that we all have to do our part in ensuring that we save this country, because this is a country that is in the verge of collapse. If you go to any sector in this country, nothing is working. But we have a president that is trying his best, but the people that are with him are not doing, they don't want him to succeed. So that is what leadership is all about. And then I think you talk about solution, how we are going to solve our solution, or how we are going to solve the problem. So I think it's a very simple thing. If the judiciary system is working, I think most of our problem is going to solve. We have the resources, we have the funds to do things, to build a school, to make sure that our economy are growing, to make sure that people are getting jobs, to make sure that, okay, you are borrowing a loan to someone. And in doing that, as a president, I will make sure that each and every day there's progress in this country. Each and every day there is steps that need to change for our country. Each and every day there's unity for our country. If anybody from Imo or from Anambra that has a very good idea, I only hesitate for him to take the leadership and do that. If someone from the north has a very good idea that is going to move this country or is going to bring solution to what we are going through, I will be more than happy to do that. And that is what leadership is all about. And that is the only way we can be able to solve our problems. And that is the only way that we can be able to bring unity and move this country forward.
You're welcome, sir. Once again, my name is Tinito, practitioner from Mission States. Okay, almost answered my question here, and I'm happy that you're coming out. Seriously, we're not here to attack you because of our question, but want to know how good you are to face the real world, and that's where it's coming. We are dreaming here, and we are told that people that change the world are famous thinkers and writers, and that's why we are here. Part of what we dreamt about is national ideology, whereby we will not be identified by our state of origin, but as our state of residence, just like where you're studying. So, in your own administration, if you eventually become the president, please tell us in one word, or tell me one word, the kind of the system, the process to achieve that national ideology. That is one. And I believe in education. I want to grow education. I want to do education, grow economy, fight corruption, and bring peace. Fighting the corruption is an issue in Nigeria. It's not easy. For me, I was thinking maybe you should focus on power, electricity. If you can focus on one project very well, it's an advice. It's a question too. It will bring other things in terms of growing that economy. No economy will grow if you bring factory, bring industry without power. Shortage of power, that's what is happening in Nigeria in terms of our power. And any industry depend more on power. If it's only one thing can achieve, they can achieve it very well. It will go a long way. And your vision for Nigeria, when you are, as you are calling for president.
Okay. So if you look at the issue of state, this person is from this state, or this person is from that state, or this and that. I think we have a long way. I'm not going to pretend, or I'm not going to look as if this is an easy thing or something. I think it's not, because that is where you have a power sharing, whereby the president is going to come from the north, and the vice president is going to come from the south, or the deputy senate president or the senate president is going to come from the other part of the country. So this is, in my own, I don't think this is something that we are going to focus on right now.
what we need to focus on was to unite people. We need to be united to move this country forward, regardless of your religion or your ethnic or your background or your race. We have to unite people. And the only way that we can unite this country is to make sure that each and every person of this country is having a fair shot. That is the only way we can be able to unite this country. And the issue of my vision, I have been thinking about this for a very long period of time. For the past 14 years, I've been thinking of how will things work for this country. And I think at this moment in history, I think I have a very good vision for this country. And that is our education. Teachers alone cannot teach our kid. The parents have to be part of it. Parents have to teach our children attitude, to take responsibility, and so on and so forth. And what we are missing in this country is for someone to take responsibility. You should be able to say to your child that, I'm sorry, it was a mistake. You, the father or the mother, you should look at your child and tell them you are sorry because you have made a mistake. So that is what responsibility is all about. And that is the only way we can be able to change our children's attitude. Because most of our leaders are not taking responsibility. Have you seen any president that come out and tell you that, okay, I have made a mistake, you should forgive me? So if your leader cannot be able to come out and tell you that, okay, I'm sorry, I have taken a wrong decision, but things are going to be fine, we should change things, or we are working on changing things, that is what responsibility is all about. And that is what someone will look at you and say, okay, this is a responsible person. So teachers alone cannot teach our child. The parent has to be involved. The parents have to take part in doing that. And that is why it's very important the parents should teach their kid on their attitude, on how they are going to bring their child, and so on and so forth. So, and that is the vision that I have for this country. On the economic, we can be able to bring foreign investors. You can be able to bring industries. You can be able to bring manufacturers. And then look at the issue of agriculture. If we are going to modernize, how we do farming in Nigeria, bring equipment, or for us to bring those like Monsantos or any of these agricultural systems into this country, whereby they are going to build their equipment, their machine, tractors, and all these things, whereby we give to the farmers on loan. This can help. We have a very vast of land. And in doing that, imagine how a government that can put a bond to a manufacturer that will come and build these tractors or build these new equipment that you will use in farming. And you give them a loan and ask them maybe to pay 10,000 per month. They will take care of those machines, right? Because those are your machines that you can be able to pay off. When you pay off, it's your machine. So I think you will take care of it than government machine or than state buying all these structures and so on and so forth. So, but if there is an industry whereby it's building those machines, you can walk in there, apply for a loan. They will give you a loan whereby those machines are yours. You will take it home, take care of it. It's just like a car loan, whereby if you start a job today in the United States, you can go to any bank and apply for loan, and a car loan whereby they will buy a new car for you, and then you will be paying those paying it off every month or instrumentally, and so on and so forth. So if we can have those kind of system in Nigeria, I think it can work, and I think that is what I intend to bring for this country.
sir. It's
okay. I think you wanted to ask something.
Actually,
right?
no. Actually, we are already out of time. Sorry, we have an in-house portfolio.
Okay. Yeah.
It's so nice to have you here, sir. And we all have taken responsibility as well. It's quite an honor for you to share your words of wisdom with us. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate you. I would like to take the labor room creed with you before you get going.
Okay.
So we by holding our hands. Labor room governor for government.
The labor room creed after the count of 2. 1, 2.
I stand in the sacred gate of time, shoulder to shoulder with my kind and breed. We share a common burden and promise. The travail has started. My water is broken. Something is coming. A superior nation is breaking out. The world is anxiously waiting, and I am the carrier. I must release this precious seed inside of me. The memories of yesterday will not stop me. The pains and shame of today will not define me. My womb is the carrier of the future. Few days from now, my baby will cry in freedom. I shall give to the world a brand new super nation. This is my calling. It is too late to stop me. For by God and my kind, this will surely be. Whoosh!
Thank you guys. I'm very happy to be here. And I will like to offer something for you guys. I don't know if you guys will have a dinner with me after, so that I can see how we can all work together and how we can place resources to you guys on your project. So I'll be glad if I can have that, Mr. Chairman, so that all of you guys, we can see how we can make resources available to you guys to see how you guys can make contribution to your state or something.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. You'll get through that through the council. You'll get it through the council, and they will let you know how it is. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Nice to meet you guys. Thank you. Okay.
Allah da ya bani sa'a. Sai dai kuma an ci kada a mai da bila gidan gona. A mai da hankali kaga yau a gentleman. Ko haka ba. So kada a je can a tawo rawa kuma sosai.
This is
Allah ya taimaka.
Amen. Now go there. Thank you. Sir.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming, sir.
Allah ina so yanda duka za mu yi aiki su wancan da suke state da yanda za mu samu su resources a musu da sabuwa ga muga yanda za su yi da project din su.
Duka sama su ba damuwa ba ne. Kawai just let the council know how we are all.
Okay. To yana da kyau. Na gode fa. Thank you. Thank you.
Kai, Prince, Kai, wato kar a yi logo, or kar a yi angoro. No, she did not sign that. Huh? They passed on a message. Yeah. They didn't even tell me 5 minutes or anything, they just told me to end it. And still one page, that was even before. That was exactly, Sylvester was raising his hand. You will know, that was a shame. Okay. You know what he's telling me? That he wants to get everybody in touch, so that he wants to place resources in our hands so that we can work on our various states. One house, please. One house, one house. Sorry, I'm meant to believe we didn't pray, right? I understand the fact that we are hungry, but that shouldn't make us lose our manners. Please, it's very, very important. So even if I'm not on seat or anything, it's better for someone to just rise up and pray and let the eating go on. So we are putting on the governor of Ebonyi State to pray for us.
In Jesus' name, in mighty name of Jesus, Father, bless this meal which you have about to receive out of man, Christ the Lord. Amen.
You come to your what? Your house. You don't know. They give house by house. So it's so round. That's the way. They can go from what and everything.
Oh shit. How far now? How far now? I'm all there remain the same. Fella. They never know. Super how far?
You brought hen.
Yeah, local, ba? All those ones now. I go tell one of the. I swear to God. As in, I go tell one of the girls, say, you know get house, ne? What's up now? The guest just left now. It's a boss thing. The boss stove. Yeah, but I'm in Green Century now. Live at some time.
At the end of the day, you know that I ended up doing. I don't remember any other thing. I was planning on
Maybe at that particular time, one of the witches and wizards is watching. Most kind of witches where they touch TV. May they touch TV like say now.
I was surprised. I just sat down and said, and then I sat down, I remember them.
You couldn't emerge this time.
This time.
And I saw the letter, I said, I said, I'm walking inside, just one of them.
Nothing you no go see all this one shot. Come back to the hand. CG phone pass my own. No be hand.
Don't worry, when I'm done, I'll call you. I know it was my own intention.
No, I don't automatically turn in campaign manager.
This is our
nowadays. And they just tell us they remind us that we do.
See, let me tell you, as it's like, see Nigeria make mistake, show results. Tell me to know.
That means for don't.
Come see yourself. You will see what you talk.
And the secretary Naka.
Okay.
No question, we should. Because we have that question again. We should go to one ask. When they are among the first day, when they are among the last three to pass their question, so when they ask them this.
I swear. Wakajiba ni ada.
You say you don't need it.
Wakajiba ni. Wakajiba ni. Abin da yanzu ake a Kaduna ke yayin. Yes. I thought I would. Just sit down, just conclude like that.
I swear, since you tell us saying this, we're making people laugh.
Yeah.
No, is it that I'm
going to sign for you. I just want to bring it to your notice.
Keep using your team.
The night was that
keep using your team.
they have promised me today that they will look into my electropyrosis past 5 years.
Look at you. Who is
They
afraid
just
of you?
declare it
Who is
back.
afraid of you? So, on my to come
You
like
sabi
this.
make mouth.
No pressure.
My problem with you.
Pressure. Eat anything that comes your way.
No wahala. We go wait. No be you dey go.
Those ones that will go write poison and soup.
In a suit that go right. Those are the one for black nylon.
What do you think nylon?
Yes. Bench.
The truth.
Somebody give me.
See how she just waste man.
Is it your concern?
Just make sure you don't say it like I said, use that for the book.
See, you think I don't have sense?
But I know that come.
Chairman, they give you two.
Who dash me to?
No, don't check your myself into the bag.
Mr. Chairman.
I like bring your own more chopper. Huh?
My own.
I had to switch. Yes. What you say? Seriously, I don't know. We'll serve it at the Green Century.
Why is the last one in the case?
Yeah.
Come,
Yeah.
did you take chicken out of it? The last one is small.
Everybody's own is small, except I don't know if mine is the only one that's small. I think I'm more share. Please, one house. That reminds me. We'll be having the GCC. A Green Century Code. Mr. Brown, I'm fasting on information.
I have the GCC now.
Yes, and the chocolate ice cream and the mini meeting will be served there. So if you are not there, there's nothing like keep my own.
That is not the case. Our primary purpose of coming here is GCC.
No.
Whether ice cream or not, you sure know that.
I'm just declaring some incentives attached.
Not necessary.
Okay. To help keep us awake. Madam Chinedu, how come you have a fat particle? I miss House of Lords because there you get the largest share.
You need money for that. Want to know what is happening outside the prayer? You've seen it pray here. I really, as I say, you want to know what is happening outside the prayer?
I was going to tell the newspaper story. Your Excellency. When I brought you.
Yeah.
안녕하세요. mana PR da baru.
Can you hear me?
An ka mana baru.
You enter where we are. No problem.
To remind you.
What's that? Yeah, people should not be calling like this now. But how they wrote it? Just like adding what is not.
They're posting picture, not
Adamawa.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. That's exactly the problem. I've been complaining about the protest for quite a while. Where's Brian? Let me get him. Kuna Oloku, boss, Ali Body, Mr. Brown, you are needed in the X-ray room now. Now. Yeah, surely it shall be. Mr. Brown, Dalak, sai ka ce mishi zan zo.
Congratulations.
Ah.
Congrats.
Yes. If now boy, where do you go? Look, if now boy go, any is a white or white.
abomination. How can you kill a human being when you are doing that? Because somebody has come and said, guys, in fact, that's the beauty. How dare you come on? How dare you come on? How dare you come on? No, you have to say it. What does it mean? How dare you come on? Yo, it's not. I thought this one. That one. This one is beautiful. The other one is beautiful. The one that we're talking about is I'll do it myself, please. Just give you
Battery inside, and that is not good. Yes, it is very bad.
I'll do it when I'm done.
Sorry?
No, what I do
No, but normally at home, or maybe if we go to campus, I'm not really a campus person, but if you go to campus, at home, you see people wearing uniform, they're happy to go normal. So you don't wait outside. Okay, but if a guest come that you are comfortable with, you can wait. That's what I'm saying now.
In my room, but not outside my room.
Hold on. Do you stay in one room in school?
Yeah.
One room, right?
That has a balcony.
That has a balcony. That's normal schooling for school. You stay alone. Let's say we are friends. Not that we're dating, but we are friends. If I come, you can go it. That's what I'm saying now. That people get it at home.
But not outside.
Okay, but some way it's outside. Maybe to fetch water.
Yeah, I can't wait downstairs.
But you can wait in your balcony. You can wait in front of your door.
I have two doors. So the higher that I really to on that person's room and that my own line.
To sweep.
Maybe yeah, to sweep or to
That's
I need to go down.
So somebody that is coming upstairs to another may see you.
Yes.
That's something we are talking. Now, wearing it downstairs is now another category of people.
Yes.
So that's why I say that if I, like my estate now, where I stay, it's normal for you to see people inside their compound, wearing it around their compound, maybe not outside the gate. And if I visit them, like they are a family living in front of mine, the man has about 4 daughters. I think 28, 26, 24. Last one is 20. If I enter there, you see them wearing inside their house, even in the compound. We can even sit there and gist. But they don't wear it outside their gate. And if somebody that they are not comfortable with enter their house, either they tie something or they wear trousers or maybe wear all these long skirts. They always have it around. Sometimes they will even spread it in the, by the backyard. So maybe somebody, maybe a car comes or something, or they can just take it out. Something about
When I held him to come back, just pushed my head. Get out. I was sure, like, are you serious? Like, are you serious? For real? It's okay, thank you. Like, yeah, I'm stupid. I was since I was good. I got, then I held it. I'm like, yeah, finally good now. Thank you. But in my mind, I was saying, okay, I'm stupid, yes. I'll get out. Thank you. The dream was surprised. Touched him and he went out of the kitchen. So Jane was like, and you see, like, she was going to give him food. But because of the way he started shouting and all that, she survived. I need to this time shout on her that way.
Come here.
Maybe probably because I didn't get it.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
So, person since then now.
That same day, I went immediately it happened. It was now on the audition. So me, I was not opposite him. I was my sister, he was sick of him. He was like nonsense there.
Huh?
From the world, but I don't know. He said, this is bad.
Then it's not. Then it's empty.
I was just in front of him. I didn't say, please. I was just eating my food. So when he was done, he stood up and he went to get so the shower of coming out, like, you should go and walk up and project. Yeah, I went upstairs and I met him there. First I was to ask him, so how do we do the advert?
No signal.
So I was like, how do we do the advert? So he was surprised I was able to talk to him. That I like, oh, he's shocked that I spoke to him. So my mom was like, oh, you think I will now start
begin to benefit at the expense of the greater good of the...
So I now stammered and replied to him. Show me what to do. I need to go and invite to Junior. Sorry, you don't know what you're saying. Because it's how long is solved. Now there's no communication between me and Junior. You don't know. And he's one of the house. So you need to apologize.